Picture this. New York City, dripping in diamonds and drenched in martinis. It's the 1950s and Truman Capote, the literary darling with a penchant for the finer things, is holding court. He's surrounded by his swans, a gaggle of glamorous socialites with names like Babe Paley and Slim Keith. They're the epitome of elegance, dripping in couture and oozing sophistication. Think Audrey Hepburn with a trust fund and a taste for gossip. Capote, with his sharp wit and even sharper tongue, is their confidant. They spill their secrets over champagne brunches and late-night soirees, sharing intimate details of their seemingly perfect lives. He's like a walking, talking gossip column, privy to the scandals and secrets of the most elite circle in America. Little do they know, their dear Truman is taking notes. He's not just sipping cocktails and swapping stories, he's crafting a literary hand grenade, and he's about to pull the pin. Answered Prayers was like a literary Molotov cocktail tossed into a room full of feather boas and Fabergé eggs. It was a tell-all of epic proportions, and the Swans were not amused. Remember that scene in Mean Girls where Regina George's burn book gets exposed? Multiply that by like 1,000, and you're in the ballpark. The book was a vicious exposé, filled with thinly veiled characters based on his former friends. Their deepest insecurities, their scandalous affairs, their marital woes, it was all laid bare in Capote's trademark prose, as biting as it was beautiful. He betrayed their trust, shattered their carefully constructed illusions, and sent shockwaves through the highest echelons of society. Imagine being best friends with someone, spilling your guts to them over years of late-night chats and boozy lunches, only to have them turn around and use your life story as fodder for a scathing takedown. Not cool, Capote, not cool. The Swans were mortified, their reputations in tatters. They were social pariahs, ostracized from the very circles they once ruled. Capote's betrayal was seen as the ultimate act of social suicide. He was a pariah banished from the gilded cage he'd so desperately clawed his way into. He had bitten the jeweled hand that fed him, and the consequences were swift and brutal. The fallout from Capote's literary grenade was immense. It wasn't just about hurt feelings and broken friendships, it was about the shattering of an illusion. Capote had pulled back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz, revealing the flawed human beings behind the carefully crafted personas. The scandal rocked the very foundations of high society, exposing its hypocrisy and fragility. These people, who seemed to exist on a different plane, were suddenly revealed to be just as messy, just as flawed as the rest of us. It was like finding out that Cinderella's glass slipper was actually made of plastic, or that Prince Charming had a nasty gambling habit. The carefully constructed facade of perfection had crumbled, and what lay beneath was far from pretty. But amidst the scandal and the outrage, there was a sense of grim satisfaction. Capote had exposed the underbelly of a world that had long been shrouded in secrecy and privilege. He had shown that behind the wealth and the glamour, there was just as much pain, just as much dysfunction as anywhere else. The Swans might have had their feathers ruffled, but the rest of us were treated to a front-row seat to the drama. Capote's betrayal was a potent reminder that money and status don't buy happiness, or even basic human decency. The Swans, for all their wealth and privilege, were just as capable of pettiness, jealousy, and cruelty as anyone else. They were, in many ways, a microcosm of the society they inhabited. A society obsessed with appearances, where wealth and status were the ultimate markers of success. The scandal also highlighted the often toxic nature of such closed social circles. In a world where image is everything, authenticity is often sacrificed at the altar of appearances. The Swans were so busy trying to maintain their carefully constructed personas that they lost sight of who they really were. So, what can we learn from this whole messy saga? Well, for starters, maybe think twice before inviting Truman Capote to your next dinner party. But on a more serious note, the story of Capote and the Swans is a cautionary tale about the dangers of wealth, privilege, and the pursuit of social status. It's a reminder that behind the glittering facade of success, there are often deep-seated insecurities and hidden truths. The story of Capote's betrayal is a juicy tale of gossip, scandal, and revenge. It's a reminder that even the most glamorous social circles are riddled with drama and intrigue. But beyond the salacious details, there's a deeper message about the human condition. Capote's actions, however morally ambiguous, forced us to confront the hypocrisy and fragility of the world he so deftly exposed. He held up a mirror to high society, revealing its flaws and contradictions. And in doing so, he reminded us that beneath the veneer of wealth and status, we're all just human beings, grappling with the same messy realities of life, love, and loss. So, the next time you find yourself caught up in the allure of glamour and exclusivity, Remember the tale of Capote and the Swans. Remember that behind the glittering facade there's often a much more complex and often less glamorous reality. And maybe, just maybe, think twice before you spill your deepest secrets to a writer, especially one with a penchant for social sabotage.